Trading days, January the 11th, 2015. Just before we get to the chart, I'd just like to mention some of the events that have taken place. We mentioned ideological extremism on last week's letter, and we certainly got that in France in spades this week, and I guess it's still going on. And I think this is going to carry on for the next 2 weeks at least. We're in for a very tense period of time. Aspects that are contributing to this are Uranus and Mars are two that are making aspects to other planets. We've talked about the Uranus waxing square to Pluto for quite a few months. That's still in orb. And it's going to be hit by the North Node. This is, by hit I mean it's going to make an aspect to both Uranus and Pluto. When they'll be happening is January 15th. Pluto will square the North Node, and on January the 20th, Uranus will oppose the North Node. Very similarly, we call that translation. So, very similarly, Mars is going to translate the forming Saturn-Neptune square. Although that aspect is not exact yet, Saturn squared Neptune, but it's getting close, and Mars is going to aspect both. Mars will square Saturn on January the 15th, and then Mars will conjunct Neptune on the 19th. Now, Mars conjuncting Neptune, that's often a sign of some type of weakness or disease, pandemic, and there's a few aspects giving the same message. So watch for any type of pandemic or illness affecting many people. Another point I'd like to make on this Mars conjunct Neptune. What's happening here? This is the end of a cycle. It's the end of a Mars-Neptune cycle, and a conjunction then is always the beginning of the next cycle. So just look at the Mars conjunct Neptune as the beginning of a cycle, and now we'll start in time, moving along in time, and we'll have a square, a triangle, an opposition, etc., etc. But it's a good way of looking at any two planets are in a cycle with themselves. The other date I wanted to make a point of is Monday, January 12th, and I had this in last week's report and left it again in this week's report, and that is the moon moving over 15 degrees 5 minutes of Libra. That's happening again on January the 12th, and if you recall, that position, 15 degrees 5 minutes of Libra, is where the October 8th lunar eclipse took place. And I've got some history in there you can check on in the letter. Looking at the chart, we've got, we're 13 weeks along now in the primary cycle. With Friday's activity, we're price closed below both the 15 and 45-day simple moving averages, and not looking particularly healthy here. We're in the time frame we should be looking for a crest to this cycle. It may have been on December 29th. I originally had December 5th in mind. That could have been the crest, or we'll be making it very shortly. My belief is we've already made it, and we're headed down, and we have the potential in this window of time, the next 2 weeks, to be a more severe downturn. I was looking at some other charts, and wondering if it's actually going to be a retest of the October lows. That's all I wanted to say on this, so thank you very much.